you. I can't believe it. Angela Robertson is in the house. Hey, Angela.
Hi, Sandy. Oh, love the energy. I've been looking forward to this. Thank you so much for having me on.
This is my dears for you. Welcome to
Uh,
Hey, I Got Something to Say. And Angela's coming from British Columbia. I think you are, right? In Canada.
oh, yes, I am. Yeah, I'm coming from a little island known as Bowen Island, which is just outside of Vancouver in British Columbia, Canada.
Ooh, well, I have some surprises for you, but we'll wait till a little bit later about where Angela lives. I got some exciting news, but hold tight, hang in there. First, I want to make sure I get this in because I got a lot of questions about this one, Angela. Your power statement. So I
Mm.
send out to my peeps your stuff, and they're like, are you sure? Here's Angela's power statement. We're going to jump right into it. You are enough and you have enough time. So they were like, whoa, because, I got a lot of entrepreneurs out there and CEOs and CFOs. And I'm going to just quote Sally. These are made up names.
Mhm.
Dear Angela, I don't think you understand my business. If you did, you would know that I definitely don't have enough time. I may
Mhm.
be enough some days. I'm not sure. Keep in mind, I also have three kids under the age of
Mhm.
6, a husband who travels a lot. Okay, and I'm slightly neurotic. Please help.
I know, Sandy. It sounds wild. It sounds wild, but this is why it's so powerful. Because for me, that statement, you are enough and you have enough time, the things we tell ourselves in states of stress and in states of high stress are so negative. And so even the way that Sally just framed that, right? Like, here are all the things that I have. And it's like, and yet, like, look at
No,
what you could
she
celebrate.
froze. That
Oh
can't
no.
be.
Oh no,
But
did
you
I
know, it's
freeze?
only when you moved forward. Do you have a motion sensor?
Oh, I do. So maybe I just need to stay in one spot
Well, you can move back usually,
or it
but
can
when you
move
move
back.
forward, it
Oh,
could.
that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
All right.
try that. We'll see. I'll try
So,
and stay a little bit more in one spot.
so you just saw my face when you froze.
Yeah,
So we got to get this in because the people really want to know.
yeah.
It sounds wackadoo because there's always more to do. So tell us again why in the unfrozen version.
No, I get it. I get it. It sounds wild. And especially the way that Sally just mentioned all of the things that she has on her plate, right? They're all in this frame of here are all of the things I've got on my mind. At the end of the day, those are all things to really celebrate too, right? And I think as soon as you take that, I don't have enough or I don't have enough time, and even just to reframe it with, you are enough and you have enough time, yeah, you're not going to be like Hermione Granger and have a time turner and all of a sudden turn your day into double the time. But what it reframes, at least for me, is that hey, maybe there's a few things that don't absolutely have to happen today. I'm not going to be a perfect mom, not going to be a perfect business owner, not going to be all these things, but I am going to be me. And if I can show up as myself, I think that gives us permission, or at least when I say it to myself, it gives me permission to show up as me and bring some joy into what might otherwise be a stressful day.
I didn't tell her to say any of that. I just want you to know. And I do. I mean, I do so much believe in the power of words, and I'm constantly going reset because I'll even catch myself saying something like, "Wait a minute, that's what I'm training my mind and body to believe, and then that's going to affect my day." No
Mm-hmm.
way, no how. So
Mm-hmm.
when I get stressed, just so you know, and think, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to get this done?" I remind myself to celebrate everything I did do that day. And I
Yeah.
literally do a celebration dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Celebrate. because you're never going to get everything done on your list. So
No.
I always put like, what's the top three things for me that I want to accomplish that day? The top
Hmm.
three.
Hmm.
And if I get more, hoochie mama. But I just want to be able to celebrate because it does matter. So I saw this and I wanted to come to Whistler and hug you before because it's so important. All right, so let's tell them a little bit about you and then how we met and what's coming
Yes.
up.
Yes.
All right, so Angela is CEO of Acetech, a Canadian nonprofit helping tech, here you go, CEOs and founders grow themselves and their businesses. A former tech CEO who led her company through growth and acquisition, she knows firsthand the challenges of leadership and believes you are enough and there is enough time to do it well. Okay. She champions clarity, courage, and purposeful growth, empowering the next generation of tech leaders to thrive on their own terms. So, Angela and I met. I was trying to think. Was it on LinkedIn or was it through Mira, my agent, who recommended me to speak at
It
the
was
leader?
through Mira. Yeah, I have so much to thank Mira for. But yes, she brought us together.
So, big announcement. I will be speaking at the Ace Tech Leadership Summit, April 13th through the 15th, and I've never been to Whistler.
I know when you shared that, I got goosebumps because there's something really special about Whistler. I mean, there's that ongoing Olympics energy. Everyone who's there is there to rest, relax, rejuvenate. And we're just so excited to have you join us, Sandy, because we've been doing this retreat for 34 years now. So this
What?
is, yes, yes, 34 years. I know. Started in the early 90s.
Okay, so many questions now.
Yeah.
What made you want to take over this position?
Mm. Yeah, I didn't know too much about Ace Tech as a executive within a company. I just kind of saw our founder at the previous company I was with going off to these roundtables, and I wondered what could be so important that you block off 4 hours of a day every single month that you're not going to negotiate with. You're going to plan your travel around and everything else. I just went, what could it possibly be? And when I had the opportunity to be the CEO of that company, it clicked for me. I went, oh my gosh, yes, okay, I have this team that I've rallied around me, leadership team, the team at the office, but who knows what I'm going through day in and day out? No one better than other tech CEOs or founders, right? They're the ones who are living that journey. And it was so empowering to me to join a group where I could just be myself and really just not worry about trying to put together what am I going to say? Am I framing this for my board? Am I framing this for my team? No, no, no. I can just let loose and go, hey, this is what I've got going on at work. This is what I've got going on in my personal life. And everyone who was there to support me. And so when I became a member at Ace Tech, especially as a young female CEO, I didn't know that this was what I needed. But I do know now that it's what helped me
Hmm.
through so many of the challenges that I had in my career. And so I stepped into the role of CEO at Ace Tech because I need other CEOs and founders to know that they don't have to do this alone, that they can have this great, wonderful support of incredible people who will rally around them and help them and their businesses grow and succeed the way they want to.
I love that you're doing it. And even though I was in a different field, I owned health clubs. It was the same thing for me. When
Mm.
I started out, it was mostly, well, it was all men and then me. I would show up. But when they had these conferences, I would come back and my team would be go, oh God, let's prepare because she's gonna be, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. But I came back so rejuvenated. Like they got me, they understood me, they were willing to help me and grow, and we're all
Yeah.
in the same profession. So I love that you're doing this. They must be
Right?
coming back flying high and so relieved too.
They really are, right? But it takes a courage. It takes courage to admit that you could use the support, right? And I think that is something, especially, I don't know if you find this too, having been and still are a female entrepreneur, right? I think the framing of being inside of a male-driven, male-dominated world, especially historically, is that, okay, you have to show up strong, show up tough, be resilient. And I do love that it seems there's so much more acceptance of vulnerability and being able to show up as you are and with some holes and cracks and things that need a little bit of fixing. It's not perfect yet, but it's progress, and I think that's really something to celebrate. I find myself learning so much from the CEOs and founders in our network, just because of the way I see them transform. They're like taking this mask that they've put on their face for so long, and it slowly comes down, and then their true soul and what made them become an entrepreneur and that spirit, it is unleashed, and it creates this superpower for them that lifts them and their companies to the next level.
I want to home in on that word brave because I think you're right. I have to tell you, even me, it took a beat for me to say,
Mhm.
I need some help here. I
Right.
need some, and it is more accepted now. I see it. I see it changing.
Mhm.
And I see even my male counterparts being more vulnerable than
Right.
ever. And it's so nice to
Mhm.
see. You and I were talking about earlier when I do my speaking engagements, it's not just to women. I do a lot of men and some all
Mhm.
men conferences. And
Mhm.
I do something that's a celebration dance, and people be like, it's all counting. They're ready to go. They're ready
Yeah.
to release and be vulnerable because they want that, and the
Mhm.
camaraderie that comes along with it. So
Mhm.
my question to you, you said 30 freaking 4 years ago it started,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
What is the shift that you've seen from 34? Well, I guess you were in it the whole time, but what's the shift that you see right now that is positive in your
Mm,
group?
it's a great question. The real shift is that folks are craving connection. And I really think that, if we go back just 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, we were all disconnected and learning to connect virtually, right? And that notion of, okay, we can do this, we can power through, we can make it through crisis mode. We've been holding on to that even now. I think there's so many people that are realizing that there is no substitute for in-person connection. There really isn't. And what we've seen and what we've been able to celebrate is that our community, and I don't mean our community just in terms of tech CEOs and founders in BC. I mean all community,
Yeah,
folks
yeah.
big and small. They are all looking for new ways to get together in person. And what I think is so beautiful about what we're doing at Acetech, especially in Whistler, is it's a celebration of everyone getting together across the tech
Mm.
community. And people are getting excited about that opportunity to learn together and connect together and have fun together, right? It's almost like we've forgotten that this is all supposed to be fun too, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so if we can inject some fun, some humor, some camaraderie, then it just can help everyone to feel connected and it's self-perpetuating. If there's anything I've learned from building community, in the last year, it's the through lines between the community are so surprising, right? Someone might have crossed paths a decade ago and they haven't seen each other in a while, and now they got in a room together because they were invited to a party, or they met each other on their kids soccer field, right? We're all living these circles around each other, and I think the more intentional points we can make for connection, and the more we realize that what we're going through, that collective struggle, is following a parallel path, then there isn't really that much that's separating us, and why not do it together when we don't have to do it alone?
And I do love it. I want to hone this in because whether you're a tech founder or not,
Hmm.
it's so important to be with other people that really understand what you're going through and
Yes.
get you.
Yes.
And you don't have to explain it,
Yes.
and that makes it so much easier to let down your guard. And
Hmm.
also, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he had to be convinced, he's a tech founder, and he had to
Mm.
be convinced to go to a conference.
Mm.
For 3 years, he wouldn't go. He was like, I don't
Mm.
have time. I don't have time. I don't have
Yeah.
time. I don't have time. And finally, he went to this one, and it was one in the US. He goes, I'm so mad at my boss for not forcing me. He should have fired me. He should have fired me for not going
Right?
because it was worth the time and
Yes.
energy. And you
Yes.
know me, my topic is joy's your competitive edge. This is so right up my alley because I do believe in business. That was my edge. You know,
Hmm.
I had that mindset and things techniques and tools that I did to shift, to see beyond what was right in front of me. And every
Mm.
founder and CEO has that, every
They
single one
do.
of us. And
Yeah.
sometimes we wait until we get so stressed out or filled with anxiety, have anxiety attacks. I see it all the time with my clients. Wake up
Mm.
in the middle of the night before we reach out for help.
Yeah.
And I
We
don't want
do.
that to be. And I don't want that to be. So I'm
Mm-mm.
going to back up a bit. Let's back up. Do you do something in the morning every day to get you in this mindset that one of your tips is I'm going to plan my life. I don't let it plan me. I mean, how do you get in that mode?
Mm.
Anything?
It's inconsistent, right? Again, I've used that word a few times on this talk already. Perfect. That's actually a no go word in our house normally, because there's this beauty in kind of the imperfection, and I think sometimes when we challenge ourselves to be 100% all the time, we don't celebrate the 95 to 99% that we're probably mostly doing. So I'll say
On a
this
good
is that
day.
on a
Yeah.
good day, I really strive to, I I don't think enough people look up. We spend so much time looking down, right? And my mom's a physio. So she always went, we're losing the range of motion in our necks, right? Because we're not spending time looking up. And I see it because I have a young daughter, and she is always looking up because that's where everyone is, right? And she's curious about the sky and what's going on. So ever since she came into our life 2 years ago, I've really made a conscious effort to look up. So every day when I start my day, I look up and I look out. And that I know is what we tell everyone in business to do, right? Is to look up and look out. But if we don't practice doing it, actually physically looking up and looking out, I think we can forget what that's like. So I'm lucky I live in such a beautiful place that I really love to take at least a minute in the morning of looking up at the sky, looking out at the mountains and the ocean, and just experiencing how grateful I am for my body, my health, my family, and where I am.
She just threw in there the mountains and the ocean.
Just, in case you needed more
Paradise.
reasons to come and visit,
Oh my
Sandy.
God. Oh my. And let's just hold on to that because you didn't overcomplicate it. I'm all about the 1 to 3 minute things, but you even took it down. Like, I'm going out every morning. I don't care what the weather is. I do look up
Mm.
because I do my little things. I do my little
Hmm.
dances. You're just like, I just go out and breathe and look up. I love that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
That's what you need to do.
that's all you need to do. Yeah. And it's something you can even do in the middle of the night. That's the other part of it, right? Because I love something that, even if you're, because we all do it sometimes. We're up at night, our brains are working overtime, and there is something about changing that visual field of reference. So even just to pop your head outside, look up, look out, breathe in. It's like a full system
Yeah.
reset.
No excuses, people. Come on. Just up. I mean, I've had people here
Just
with
up.
complicated stuff. This is looking up. All right. So the calendar. We like our calendars. I like
Mm-hmm.
writing things down on paper. You talked about not being perfect. So is it a loose calendar that you plan out? Do you allow for, whoopsies or hey, throw caution to the wind?
Yeah, I think we adopt this piece where if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't happen. But of course, there's stuff that happens, right? You love to plan
Yeah.
surprises and, things, there's some flexibility. And I am a fairly organized person. And so my husband has really taught me how to embrace spontaneity and how beautiful that can be. And that is a work in progress for me. I'll be very vulnerable about that. I like to have a plan. So my version of spontaneity is I have plans A through F. And as long as they're on that continuum, that's fine by me. But going back to the calendar, it's more about we spend so much time planning, I think, work activities. And when we think about work, we're booking meetings in the calendar, we're booking time for projects. But when it comes to home life, where is that going into the calendar? Like, I know we have dinner every night, but are we really protecting time for dinner? I know we're going to do lunch every day, but am I really taking that time to actually disconnect and have lunch? Like we take these basic needs for granted, but if we're really prioritizing these blocks in a calendar, whether it's scribbled down in your day timer or in your virtual calendar, how are we not flipping that and thinking about it in terms of what we want to do also in our lives? So, my husband and I and our daughter sit down and have regular conversations about how are we going to what are we doing for us this week, and making sure that that goes in the calendar before everything else. And it was something that when it was first proposed to me by a very dear friend of mine, Alice Hyman, who, if you haven't had her on your podcast yet, oh my gosh, you're going to meet her at Whistler. She is a gem. I love her so much. But she really reframed my thought around what we plan, we do. And so if we plan for the fun, if we plan for the joy, if we plan for the
Mm.
family time, we're going to do it. And giving myself permission to prioritize that just as much as I'm prioritizing what's going on at work, it's helped so much. And honestly, it's given me back time into my workday because I'm not constantly worrying about how am I going to get it all done. I already know that I'm going to have a
Yep.
dinner with my family in the evening, and I know that we're going to get to go on a hike together on the weekend because we've said we're going to do it.
Yeah. I love that. And by the way, I'm very spontaneous. I mean, at a drop of a hat, I'll go, yeah, let's go to New York.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't think I've ever said this out loud. I actually plan when I'm washing my hair. I plan
Right.
when I walk my dog. I
Right.
plan when I go to the gym. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in there, but uh, calling this, lovely family member that might annoy me. Yep, it's
Mm.
planned.
Mm-hmm. It's
I do.
planned.
I planned. I was washing my because it's a big ordeal to dry this freaking mop, it's in the calendar.
Yeah, it is, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, when does it get done? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nope, there's a baseball cap coming on.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And I will just go, yep, let's do that instead. All right. I would love to figure out a way to have people reshape this thought here because this is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Let preparation replace urgency. Write down things you want to say or ask before important conversations and stop there. Oh, again, I wanted to come hug you. I do that every single freaking time, and I call it take a beat.
Yes. Yes. Uh, yeah,
Helps so much.
it helps. It really helps, right? And it's that whole notion, I come back to it again, don't let perfection be the enemy of good enough, right? And I think sometimes we hold ourselves to such high standards that we want to come off a certain way or we want to ask a certain way, and we lose the opportunity to listen and learn from the folks that are right in front of us. So plan what you're going to say, write it down, and then stop, because it's similar to what you just said, Sandy. You still want to allow for the moments of spontaneity, and you can if you take a beat, write down what you think you want to say, allow for it to potentially still change before the meeting or whatever you're doing because you might get new information. But you're going to make your decision of what you're going to do based on the best information you have today, right now. And that's it.
Again, so simple, people, but makes a huge impact. I love this. Okay. I've never done this. I've done a lot of mindset things, but I've never said what became clearer today,
Mm,
not what did I finish. At the end of the day, ask what became clearer. I'm gonna start doing that.
mm, that's so great. I'm
When
glad
did
that
you start
resonates
that?
with you. It's I started doing that several years ago, but I have to say it's one of those that I forget about and I need to come back to on a regular basis because I think we are in a very outcome oriented world and we get inundated with headlines and everything that's very metrics driven and so focused on what did I accomplish today? What did I check out off the to-do list? And don't get me wrong, things need to get done. If you went to a grocery store and you didn't check it off all the things on your list, you wouldn't have anything to cook for dinner, right? But
Yeah.
that reframing of what became clearer today, I think is so important, especially when things are challenging and you are treading water and you are in a grind and for me, becoming a parent really helped to clarify that for me because there's so much uncertainty with parenting. I was so surprised by that. I remember being so naive, and it's the same in business, quite frankly. I think you look at a business, and from the outside in, you go, "Oh yeah, I understand how that business works. I understand what they're selling and all of this, and how hard can it be?" But when you actually step into that role of a parent, or you step into that role of a CEO, it's so much more nuanced. You realize that there's all these fires burning around you and you don't have all the answers, nor should you, right?
Mm.
Because you really need to empower the team around you, whether it's at work or at home, your community, your family, um, your chosen family who's supporting you in order to be successful. I think it's so important to just reflect and go, yeah, I probably didn't get it all right today. In fact, I know I wouldn't get it all right today, but what is something that is clearer for me today
I like
that
that.
was fuzzy yesterday? And that, for whatever reason, since I've been practicing that, it's actually made me feel an even greater sense of accomplishment than looking at the to-do list
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it,
absolutely.
right?
Minor, again, mind shift, but major, major.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now the juicy part.
Okay.
Tell us more about what they can expect when they come to the summit. I know it's 3 days, right? But the day before
Mm-hmm.
they come, there's a mingle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's April 13th to 15th, and we do it every year. It's the Acetech Leadership Retreat, and it's specifically designed for founders and CEOs of technology companies. And it runs the gamut of everything that you might be facing as a founder or CEO of a technology company. We talk about how there's you can go so many ways with that, but we really try and make all of our content super member driven, right? The majority of the folks who are there are going to be Acetech members, and Acetech members pay a membership fee to join Acetech, and as a result, they tell us what their primary needs are. So, I mean,
Oh,
everything to do with AI is on folks' minds this year, but if we drill down in there, it's how do I leverage AI to condense the time that I can go from idea to product and really be confident about that product launch? How can I operationalize AI? What are people really doing to actually take AI and not just as a concept, but actually help me, help my team members to be more productive and efficient during our days? And then everything from how do I show up as a more confident speaker, as a more confident representative of my company, right? So,
yeah.
communication. How can I build resilience for myself and my team when things in the world are yucky right now and I can't bring certainty and it's not realistic for me to draw a line in the sand and say this is how it's going to be because I know that things are going to change. uh, everything from top to bottom, and what's so beautiful about those 3 days is everyone is learning together. Doesn't matter if you're a speaker, if you are a CEO, if you are a service provider, everyone is in the room, all learning together, connecting together. And it has that compounding effect where it's the conversations in the room as much as the conversations outside of the room that help to bring that clarity for folks. And they breathe it out, right? You can visibly see as the conference progresses, you walk around the room and folks have come in with their shoulders as earrings, right? They're hunched, they're going,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
gosh, what's going on? And you watch their shoulders come down throughout the conference and they're
That's
standing
awesome.
taller and they're just so excited to go out and they can't wait to tell their teams what they've learned, what they're ready to do. And
Mm.
some of the shifts could be very minor, but what it's done is it's given them as leaders permission to work on themselves because they know that that's going to have a positive impact on their team, their business, their life, their family life. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that part of the draw for Whistler too is that many of our members and the CEOs and founders in our community, they bring their families up and their families are there and their partners come to the dinners in the evening because it's fun and it's something that these families they look forward to every year as a milestone in their calendars. So it's as much about what we're doing for our members, for the community, but it goes deeper than that. And I'm grateful to be a part of something like this because it does bring so much joy for folks.
Yes, and I love that you said it because I probably called it 50 million things, but I love that you call it Ace Tech Leadership Retreat. It
Mm-hmm.
has a whole different feeling. It's not a conference, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a summit, not that those aren't all great, but it's Ace Tech Leadership Retreat. And you got quite a lineup of speakers. I was looking at the peeps. Woohoo! You have.
It's exciting, right? We have
Yeah.
9 speakers confirmed today, and we have one more secret to come potentially later in March or April. Uh, we really like to still hold some additional surprises right up till the end. And then we have an interesting format in the middle, which we call our unconference format, which again speaks to how we take that member driven approach and just take it even a little bit further, right? We're essentially asking folks right at the conference, hey, if you needed to solve one problem today, what would that be? And figure out if there's some commonalities and then
Mhm.
put everyone together into discussion groups based on those challenges, topics, and hash it out in real time. So we're coming up with a part of the agenda on the fly, but that's the reality of doing business. We know that there's going to be some fires burning that week. We don't know what they might be, but we will on that day. And what better value than to try and figure out maybe not how to solve all of them, but a path forward, some options for people to consider so that they can come out of the conference and go, hey, team, guess what? I didn't just read 50 books while I was at this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
also took the problems that we've got going on, the fires that are burning right now, and I hashed it out with, this thought leader, this person in a legal office, this person who had this same problem last year, and this is what they learned, and now I have an area of focus to take this and run with it and help us all to be more successful.
Where I spoke down in Atlanta, part of it too was the unconference conference,
Mm,
and they used stickies and people were putting up, and then whoever,
right.
mind blowing. It was mind blowing what came out of that. It was the first time I've ever experienced something like that.
Mm,
It was so weird, and they had a blast doing that. In addition to the other talks,
yeah.
Angela, I can't wait. I'm so glad we did this because now I'm even more looking forward to coming to Whistler. Not that I wasn't before, but before we go, a couple things.
Yes.
Is there anything we didn't get in about life, your life, or the retreat that you want to say?
Mm. I am just super grateful for this conversation, Sandy. I really appreciated all of the questions that you asked. And I think what this conversation also showed to me is just how important it is to celebrate the journey along the way. Because, quite frankly, right now it's crunch time for us getting ready for Whistler. And our team is in the whirlwind, right? We're thinking about registrations, we're thinking about logistics, and it's very easy to lose sight of
Oh,
where
yeah.
we're going. And so I'm actually so grateful that you reached out so that we could have this chat today, because this is bringing my joy back in for this event and for everything that we're doing for community. And that's a gift that you've given me today that I'm so grateful for, because I just know that this is the energy that we're trying to build. And even just talking to you today about it and having that resonate so strongly with you, uh, it's so meaningful. So thank you.
You're so welcome. And listen, this is what I do for a living. And I still, every time I have a guest on, they blow me away with something like that is giving me clarity. It's clearer that
Mm,
day that I might have forgot to do that benefited me.
mm,
And we all, even with me doing my happy dances, and I do get up every hour, I can
mm-hmm,
still forget because I want to finish it. I want to finish it. And then I can feel
mm-hmm,
things getting tense and all that. So I'll tell you what I'll
mm-hmm.
do. Every hour, I'll call you and we'll do a FaceTime and I'll do like a joyful dance for you, like celebrate.
Perfect. Perfect.
You'll be like, oh my God, Sandy, I'm getting up. I
No,
do think
I
it does
love it.
help just get up every hour, even if you spin in circles. All right.
Honestly, it does. It does. Movement. We are forgetting how to move for sure. And again, I have to call out my 2-year-old daughter, who is just so inspiring. If you ever need in like to reset how much movement we should be having in a day, you just look at a toddler and look at how much they're moving around. Even if we could get an ounce of that in every hour, I know it would change how our bodies behave for sure. I'm a big
Yeah.
believer
And
in
how
that.
she's like, I love the analogy of,
Mm-hmm.
well, she has to look up,
Mm-hmm.
like she's looking up, in
Mm-hmm.
wonderment. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Where should they reach out to find you and or the retreat?
Yes. Okay. So acetechleadership.com. That's our website. Check us out there. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Ace Tech Leadership. And You can contact me directly on LinkedIn, send me a request, I'll chat to you. And the retreat tickets are on sale now. You can find them through our website. And we are going to be keeping that open right until the end of March. So it's not too late if folks still want to
Cool.
come and join us in Whistler. Uh, Only caveat is you need to be the CEO or founder of a technology company to come and hang out with us and have a good time.
Hey, well, there's plenty of those out there.
I think so. I think there's plenty.
Oh my goodness, my hey, I got something to say. Women and men around the world that support us. I'm so grateful for you. I know you know people that are tech CEOs and founders, so spread the word. I would love to see them there. It'll be so freaking awesome, you know? And bring your family and your friends and enjoy Whistler.
And go skiing. I think that's one of the shocking things is that people don't realize there's still really great snow in April. And so
Oh,
a lot of people
snap.
come and they go skiing, right? So bring your families, hit the ski hill, hit the spa. It's a full, all-encompassing few days that you can turn into a week, and it's a beautiful time to be in this part of the world.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so needed. So needed.
So needed. Hmm.
Thank you, Angela. I really appreciate it. I can't wait. I love you guys. You know what I'm going to say? Just find those little tiny moments to feel not forced joy, but pure joy. It's already inside you. It's already
Hmm.
inside you. You know, whether it's getting up and twirling around or going outside for a second, or just look up. Until next time, toodles and thanks, Angela.
Thank you.